family thought they were smart. After my grandmother passed away, everyone suddenly became very interested in her will, especially my uncle. See, my grandma and I were close. I was the one who visited her every weekend, I was the one who fixed things around her house, and I was the one who stayed with her in the hospital during her last days. But the rest of my family, they only showed up after she died. At the reading of the will, my uncle kept smiling at me like he already knew something I didn't. Then the lawyer opened the document, and suddenly my uncle interrupted. He claimed there was a new will, a will that conveniently left everything to him. The house, the savings, even the antique jewelry my grandmother promised me when I was a kid. Everyone in the room looked shocked, except my uncle. He sat there calmly like he had already won, and honestly, for a moment, I thought he had, because the new will looked real. It had my grandma's signature, it had witnesses, even the lawyer looked confused. My uncle leaned back in his chair and smiled at me. Then he said something I'll never forget. "Looks like Grandma changed her mind about you." The room went silent. My own parents avoided eye contact. My cousin even whispered, "I guess that's it." But here's the funny part. My grandmother was many things, but stupid was not one of them. A few months before she died, she told me something strange. She said, "If anyone ever tries to cheat you after I'm gone, open the red envelope in my desk." At the time, I thought she was joking. But in that moment, I realized exactly what she meant. So I asked the lawyer for 5 minutes. Everyone looked confused, but they agreed. I drove straight to my grandma's house, walked into her office, opened the desk drawer, and there it was, a red envelope. Inside was a USB drive and a handwritten note. The note said, "In case someone gets greedy." When I plugged the USB into my laptop, I almost laughed, because my grandmother had recorded a video message, and in that video, she explained everything. She said she suspected someone in the family might try to forge a new will after her death, so she had already prepared proof. The video clearly showed her signing the real will with the same lawyer present, and at the end of the video, she looked straight into the camera and said, "If anyone presents another will, it's fake." Then she smiled and said one more thing. "My grandson gets the house because he was the only one who actually loved me." The next day, we played that video in front of the entire family. My uncle's face went pale. The lawyer immediately compared the signatures. Turns out the new will had several mistakes, and forging a will, that's a felony. Within 2 weeks, my uncle was facing fraud charges. The fake will was thrown out, and the original will was confirmed, which means I inherited everything. The house, the savings, even the antique jewelry my grandmother promised me when I was a kid. But the best part? At the end of the trial, my uncle looked at me and said, "You planned this." And I just smiled, because the truth is, I didn't. My grandmother did. And apparently, she knew exactly what kind of family we had. So tell me, if your family tried to steal your inheritance, what would you do?